wider, basically nothing at all. And then when the ambulance came, he walked over like if he was standing there the whole time. That bothered me a lot because I could have died. Because if anybody in the nursing field that's listening to this, how long does it take for you to be brain dead? How long does it take to die? How many breaths does it take to your last? So, all joking aside, when you're dealing with human life and somebody says that you don't feel well and you're having trouble breathing, they can literally go into cardiac arrest. They can literally have what we call a heart attack. That's no laughing matter. None whatsoever. So that's my issue that I have with that officer at that time.
Yeah. Wow. So what are some of the steps you tried to do to resolve your issue?
So some of the steps I tried to do to resolve my issue, I called FDLE, Federal Department of Law Enforcement, and they told me basically they have nothing to do with this, nothing to do with the department. So I found that kind of strange. So then I called the Attorney General. When I called the Attorney General told me that this is something that they can't handle. I would have to go back to the police department. I found that kind of strange. So then I called OIG, Office of Inspectors, and they told me that they can't get involved either. So I'm like, wait a minute. So I said to them, so who else should I call? So they said, call the governor. So I called the governor office, and they said they have nothing to do with the police department. So I'm like, wait a minute, something is not right. Then I said to them, well, I'm going through all these channels. Why doesn't anybody answer or can direct me to the right source? They told me to go and hire a lawyer. So then that's where it got real frustrating for me on my end, because I called the State Bar Association and I spoke to a lawyer, and the lawyer wanted $20,000. So I don't have $20,000. I don't have $20,000 to obtain a lawyer. So right now, if I find somebody that can help me, then the lawsuit can pursue. And I'm running out of time because they realize I don't have a lawyer. So they're sending me all kind of letters of motion to dismiss. So that's, the gist of it. It's more to it, but then, it goes into the hospital. I went to Florida Medical Health Hospital where they gave me the wrong medication. They injected me with the wrong medication. I broke out my eyes. I had diarrhea. I'm still sick up until now. A little dehydration, dry mouth, feeling very weak. Not being able to eat really or hold down my food, and this is from September. So whatever they injected into my body is still trying to get rid of it. And then I went from Florida Medical Health Hospital to Broward Health Hospital because Florida Medical Health Hospital told me there's nothing wrong with you. And then I went to Broward Health Hospital and I got admitted in a space of a day. So I went to Broward Health Hospital. I got admitted. They put all these things all over me, up my nose, all over the place. Came out of Broward Health Hospital, and then I went to my medical doctor. I still wasn't feeling well, still was having trouble breathing. And my medical doctor advised me to go back to Florida Medical and get the report. You ready for this one? So when I went to Florida Medical Health Hospital and got the report, I found out that I had a whole heart attack. Yes, ma'am. So these papers here, well, obviously you can't see it, but these documents here, I'm flipping through it, confirmed that I had a heart attack. Wow. And they wrote down that I had an asthma attack. So, till this day, February 7th, Florida Medical Hospital does not know or care that I had a heart attack. And that's horrible. Because I could have died and they would have just put asthma attack and that's it. To cover themselves. So now I have to look for what's called a medical malpractice lawyer to help me with that. So it's a civil case and it's a medical malpractice. Yeah.
Wow. You got brain force.
It's all stemming from one to two to three. So that's what happens when lack of communication comes in. That's not it. You got time? Okay. When I got out of the hospital and finding out all of that, I got a knock on the door. What was it? Henderson Behavioral Health. Henderson Behavioral Health. So two ladies come in, hello, and I'm like, yes, and they're like, can you answer some questions? What is this about? I turn around and I see the same sergeant that arrested my husband twice. And I'm looking at her like, I don't get it though. And the lady asked me, well, we're just going to ask you a couple of questions. One of them was, do you feel like killing yourself? No. No. Do you feel like harming somebody else? No. So then she said, okay, well, sorry for the inconvenience. She's looking at my house and it didn't connect. You could see it on her face. And then the officer pulled her outside and I was talking, and then they came back in and she started asking me more questions. She asked me, like, where are you coming from? As I was coming from the doctor. Actually, my doctor is Dr. Shank is right around the corner from me, right there, next to the D&D. And she's like, well, you were at the doctor, did you check your pressure? I'm like, what? I'm like, yeah, you check my pressure. So then the officer goes, well, how often do you check your pressure? And I'm like, every day. Why? And then she was like, well, can I check it? With a request. And then I have another police officer standing by the wall with his body camera on. And then I have the other officer by the door. And then I have the two ladies from Henderson Behavioral Health. And me. My daughter was in the room getting ready to go to school. So what was I supposed to do? Say no? So I was like, yeah. So then she was like, oh, where's your blood pressure machine? And I'm like, it's in the closet. Like, and then she's like, oh, well, he checked it for you. And I said, my nurse. At that time, I had a nurse coming every day. And she checked my pressure. And I'm looking at her like, something doesn't feel right with the head. And then she and it was very high. It was like 135, 122, something like that. It was sky high. But funny thing, when I was at the hospital, when I was at the doctor's, it wasn't that high. I think it was like 100. So clearly I was in distress and upset, right? So she goes, oh, it's really high, and you should get that looked at. I'm going, okay. And then the lady said they were gonna leave, and then the lady walked out the door, they walked out, and I'm standing there at the door looking at them like, what was that about? And the next day, I went to the police department, I put in a complaint. And they tried to say that she did that for my well-being, but to me that didn't make any sense. So then the following day I went down to the courthouse and I just started asking questions. I offered to came to my house. I want to see if anything was filed in the courtroom. Then they told me yes, on the 4th floor, the mental hygiene unit. I'm like, the mental hygiene unit? So I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So I went and they said, you have the ID? And I took out my ID and I gave it to her. She said, yeah, your record is here. My record? So I said, this is a joke. She was like, no. And then she came out with a bunch of papers and told me it was $1 a page. So I was like, well, how much is all of that? And then she deported. Hello? Yeah, come inside. Yeah, come inside. Yeah, so, wait a minute, so then after that, I was like so stunned and shocked, upset, as you can imagine, that my name is in a courthouse. There's no words to express that day. So I don't know if you can visualize this. You don't bother anybody. You're an advocate. You walk into a courthouse, and then you give them your ID, and the lady pulls out a whole package on you. And you standing there like, and this, like, I feel like it was a joke, and the lady's staring at me, and she's looking at me like, and she's looking down at the papers like it doesn't match. So what happened is, I found out that she was trying to Baker Act and take me to the crazy house.
Wow. That's crazy.
I would never, I wouldn't even know how. As much movies and shows that I watch, this is my whole life right now is a movie. It's a documentary. It's something that nobody should ever in their lifetime experience, because that right there started the movement for me. Because I'm looking at this lady and she has dockets of people, like they were giving out candy. And my last name is Ms. Morgan, and she had to skim through it to find my name. So right then and there, I'm like, something doesn't make any sense. It's like a money-making thing. So, you can pause it. You can pause it. You can pause it.
Okay, I'll take that now. Yeah. Hello. Alright, guys. We are going to pick it up another time.
So then after that, I said, okay, because my husband was there, so I said, okay, all right. I paid the money, I got the documents, and then the lady said to me, take your time, don't worry about it, just pay the money, is yours. Because at that time I didn't know if I was just to look at it and give it back to her. She said, no. And then she stamped it and gave it to me. I paid $40 for it. And, I walked out of the courtroom feeling like, this is my career. This is my life. This is not something that you can buy in a store. This is something that you earn. Your hard sweat and tears go into this. The training, years of training. Nobody really knows exactly what I do, and nobody really knows or sees my survivors, right? Because they're my hidden treasure. So what happens is with that is I'm put in a position now that I've never been able to not conquer. So I would spend days and nights sitting at the table, factoring, figuring out who on the planet can help me with this lawsuit. And the reason what led me to the lawsuit is I was not getting any help anywhere else. So it's not that I just woke up one morning and said, hey, I will do a lawsuit. No, it's because of the continuous non-communication. So basically, they see African Americans basically, we're lower than, we're not respected because they make $200,000 or $140,000 a year, and we're low poverty, trying to make it. But we have a voice. I just feel like it's my duty to speak out and say something about people in domestic violence, human trafficking, and survivors overall. We have to start speaking out because if you stay silent, then they win. So that's what basically led me to the lawsuit. Is it going to go anywhere? I have no idea. I put my faith in God. If it doesn't go anywhere, then at least I know I tried my best. But it's kind of hard in this country to put a lawsuit against law enforcement without any money. Because the minimum is to start, to retain a lawyer is $20,000. The minimum. Because they're going to try to draw it out and go and you go back to trial and draw it out and more evidence. So it can go on for years and years and years and years. But, like I said, I have faith in God, and anybody that's listening to this podcast, my word to you is to keep going no matter what. Even if they say no, you say yes. Even if it's no, you say yes. Just show them that, listen, you can't stop me. You might not like the color of my skin, you might not like who I am, but it's not for you to judge. Because you want to know why? They ain't God. They're not. They acting like they're God. But let me tell you something. You see, if it's for you, you see that phone in your hand? That phone is yours. If it's for you, that's your phone. Nobody can take that phone away from you. If you give it to somebody, then that's different. But that's your phone. Period. That's just how I feel.
The next question I want to ask is, who have you contacted during this process?
Well, I contacted literally everybody in the state of Florida. I contacted FDLE. I contacted other precincts, actually. I've contacted WID Women in Stress. I've contacted the attorneys. I've contacted Attorney Generals, OIG. I've contacted NAMI. I don't think there's anybody the news, and they don't want to take the story. I've contacted some senators, they haven't brought me back. Commissioners, mayors, people that sit on the board, city managers, the sheriff's department, and let them know what's going on. And nobody wants to get involved, or they can care less. They don't want to go. And it's so sad. They tell you, speak out. They tell you, put your complaint in. But they don't mean that. They really don't mean that.
That's a shame. Wow. That's crazy. What is the outcome that you would like to see?
Well, the outcome I would like to see is justice being brought, and the police, law enforcement, handle citizens different than how they're doing it. If they continue this path, it's going to diminish the communication and the respect between citizens and law enforcement. Because already when law enforcement comes up, it's a Grinch. People start sighing, rolling their eyes. You see it every day. There's good cops and bad cops, but I would want more unity, more communication, more respect, more professionalism. I feel like they need more training. Not everybody that you come in contact with is a criminal. And I feel like they overstep their boundaries and start taking it personal. So they have a line, and I think what's happening is they're crossing it. They're literally telling you what's good for you. So you're crossing the line. So now you're not dealing with me as the book says as a job. You're dealing with me as I'm your sister, I'm your cousin, I'm your uncle. Even the way how they call your name, how they talk to you. Even if they come to the house, it's like, oh, I've been here before. You're not a guest. So why is that wording coming out of your mouth? Back it up. I didn't tell you to come in. Because if they don't have a warrant, technically, you don't have to let them in your house. They're supposed to talk to you outside. You understand that? Because when you let them in, you're putting yourself more in their way. Like, they can look at something in your house and then call it out for no reason. If that makes sense. Huh? That's right. They can take more advantage of you. So, if you don't mind, I'll let that's my husband. I'll let my husband speak a little bit, what he would want to see out of it.
Sure. Right. Yeah. Let's say your name and then.
My name is Jane. Excuse me, I was on the spot, so excuse me. But I would see more justice, more compassion, more thought into what they were doing, and knowing that there's people with different emotions and feelings, and everybody's not the same. They have to come with more. They need more training for people. Right? That's how I feel about it. Everybody's not the same, and you just need, I would say, more communication skills, because you're here for a service. You're providing a service, and for my wife, all I want is justice, because what happened was totally wrong. It could be your mother, your sister, your auntie, your daughter lying on the floor, and to just walk over you like you're nothing, and that was wrong. So I like to see more training, really. Thank you. That's all I got to see in there.
So let me elaborate on that, because I did put him on the spot. And in life, it's always good to ask a question. So the document I just showed you, it says North Lauderdale man threatens a woman or something like that. They saw, but that woman is me. So that is my husband. So what happened was, me and my husband were having issues, arguing, fussing, fighting. And I feel it's important as couples. I'm older than him, but I feel as couples that they need to talk about stuff like this. You want to know why? Because I see a lot of couples and they don't. I see a lot of couples and they act like everything is good at home. And it isn't. We'll argue, we'll fuss and we'll fight, but we really don't mean it. You know, I get a little crazy sometimes, but he gets crazy too, but you know. What had happened will never happen again. And I don't know who put that article together, and then I got a phone call that article was done. When I called the police department, I asked them, what is this about? Because at that time, I didn't know who did that. You know, you could be putting my life in danger. They twisted and turned it and said that it was somebody close to me who did that. Coming to find out, it was the police department.
Wow.
So they sent in the story, and not only him. If you go on that website and so say, example, somebody gets arrested today. In 2 days, that person will be on that website. So they have a connection, and they get money to post people who get arrested and things like that. They have a whole website for it. So when I sit down and I look at it, it's political. It's about money. It's about power. It's about who knows who. And they're using African Americans mostly for their wealth, if it makes sense. They don't live where we live. They don't shop where we shop. They're not on the food stamp line. They are not on the Medicaid line or trying to get Medicaid. They have no problem paying their rent. Their issues are totally different than our issues. Their issues are power issues. So you never heard the saying, rich people's problems?
Yeah.
You over here saying, I wish I had those problems. So we're in the same room, but we're not on the same level. So for my husband, that's very, very, very traumatizing to know that he can't never take that down. So will it diminish? Of course, because now nobody's talking about this article, because this happened almost, I would say, 2 years ago, a year or 2 years ago. So nobody's talking about it anymore. So it's still news, but it's not still to us because it happened to me. You understand? So, you know, I just want him to elaborate a little bit, because I don't know. I didn't know anything, right? I got put in a position where all the fingers were pointed at me. Of course, it makes sense. But seeing now and seeing the whole picture, I was really set up. But he paid the price because I understand the person needed brownie points to get to where she or he needed to be. And they did. He got appointed chief, and she's working her way up. So the more arrests that she gets, it's the better. Even though all the charges, praise God, was dropped. Amen. So I just want to have you elaborate just a little bit of who, what, why, when, and then, you know, the conclusion of how did it feel, what was going through your mind, and then how did you get through those days in jail? Because it's important for the people to know that outside and inside is two different sides, and you don't want to be inside.
Good night once again. It was very tough in the beginning, but I believe in God. I put my faith in God, and I was totally shocked, and I was totally surprised by the actions that I was facing, because I know my wife, and I know she wasn't that kind of person, and for law enforcement to come and feed me and have me believe it so strong that my wife actually truly under the bus for no reason, and then got me locked up for no reason. I mean, they painted this picture of a total stranger, of a monster that it was like she was the enemy tonight. I didn't know this person, and the paperwork and the stuff that they came and provided to me, I couldn't believe it. Then I got locked up, and they had me believing that my wife was this person that was trying to just hang me up to dry. And for you to go that distance to ruin someone's marriage or ruin someone's, like their life because you want a better position, or it's wrong, it's terrible. It never happened. I lost days at work, and I went to jail for no reason. I got a monitor on my foot for no reason, just because you want 20 points. And I'm in jail for a couple of days saying, am I dreaming? Am I this real right now? Just because this officer won points and get a better position at that job, you ruin someone's life. It's not right. I would like to see justice for that. I believe in God, and I believe in karma. So it is just a bad feeling, a hurtful feeling. Every marriage has their ups and downs. No marriage is perfect. No relationship is perfect. Right? But you do not encourage people to leave their loved ones because of an argument or because you want 20 points on your job. You want to look good in front of your boss or to your peers that you lock this person up. And yeah, just to get type of approval. You ruin someone's life. That's not good. That's not good. So I would like to see justice. I would like to see some kind of I like to see some kind of justice for what you did. Because you tried to ruin our marriage. But God is good. We put God first and everything will be okay. That's what I believe. And we're back together, because you just, I don't know, it was really puzzling. And up to this day, I don't know, it's like, why? So, people try to stay together, communicate, talk, and don't let no one come between you and your loved ones. Talk it out. Put God first. With that, good night.
So to elaborate, right? She was this officer. At the beginning, I was mad. I was upset, and she dug up old papers from stuff that been there, done that, and she just kept taking. So she would go through one police report, and then she would come and ask me, "Do you have anything in the paper? You have anything with writing on it? You have anything, that match that?" And me not thinking, You know what I'm saying? Gave it to her. I didn't know that a piece of paper could get somebody locked up, but that's not what she did. It can. It can. But that's not what she did. What she did was, she kept going through one report, seeing whatever, get another report, come and ask me the paper, and then she kept attaching what I gave her to the old report. So that is why, I don't think my husband even knows, she got denied twice. So when she went the third time, they approved it. So whatever, but looking at the paperwork she did for me, I could hands down tell you she lied. Because, you want to know why? Because if he was supposed to get locked up, he would have been got locked up. So that is what's sticking me. That is something that I'm never going to know because the case got dropped. So when a case gets dropped, you don't want to go back and then dig up that because then it might backfire on you. Keeping it real. Let it go. But looking back, it didn't make any sense because not only was she arrested one time, she arrested twice. So I don't even understand that because when she came to the house, we was on the house, on TV, and she knocked on the door, and she had a big old smile on her face, and we standing there like, what do you want? Because she just kept coming and coming. Like, what do you want? What do you want? And then she was like, oh, I locked up thing. And I'm like, for what? And she was like, oh, for the fraud case or something like that. But then my husband was like, she locked him up for not showing up at court. But you don't lock up somebody for not showing up at court. So I said, well, how many days did you miss? He said 2. So come to find out, she didn't have to go to severe. They could have just issued him a ticket to show up at court. But this is the type of officer she is. She's vindictive. So then when she couldn't get through to him, she tried to get me arrested. So that's what I was trying to explain to you. So, you got good cops, you got bad cops. I mean, I don't know what it is with her, but, I pray for her. I still wish her the best because I don't have an evil heart. I don't have an evil heart. I can't hurt a fly. So, you try to put your trust and your faith in somebody, especially law enforcement. But for me, I'm good. So if I don't get through with the lawsuit, the lawsuit is $1.5 million. At least we did our job, and I did the best that I could. And somebody out there will probably see it, be motivated by it, and I hope to continue to inspire people all around the world. My TikTok went viral a couple of times, 1.4 million. I have a couple virals on there. I don't get to go on there as much as I should, and I apologize for that. But I'm going to get back into the swing because I love people. I love people. I love to talk to people. I like to meet people. I like to have fun. I like to, get back into partying and dressing up and going out. And, I just love people in general. The life how I'm living right now, it has to be put on the back burner. I did my months of investigating to see out there pushing hard. I have a couple more letters to send out. That's it. My husband's birthday is coming up.
Because this is about to die, so we have 5 minutes. So say something more, like going to, because we're gonna leave it to, because this is part one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
So
stay tuned, and I'm going to come back and have more fun and exciting things of what had happened, and Valentine's Day is coming up, and I want everybody to go out there with their loved ones, and even if you don't have a loved one, do something fun and exciting for yourself. You have a whole life to live, and trust me, every day that you wake up, thank God that you woke up, because you don't want to be in the hospital with tubes up your nose and people sticking you every minute. Write quotes, go to the library, read a book, sit down and talk to your friends, your family.
And everything you do put God first.
And then everything you do put God first. I mean, take it one day at a time. We all in it together, and that's what I want everybody to understand. You're never alone. You're never alone. You might feel you're alone, but thank God for Facebook, thank God for Instagram, thank God for TikTok, thank God for all these social media outlets that even if you feel you're alone, you can type in something and somebody will answer you.
Or your loved ones close.
Yeah.
right.
And then remember to get my book, 1974 Survival Story by who? By Ingrid Morgan. It's a bestseller. I'll be back. Don't worry, Marlon. Don't worry, I'll be back. I'll be back. I'm coming for you. Be ready. Get ready. My birthday coming up too.
Ooh.
All
Right now. All right
Get
now.
ready. Don't worry. I'm gonna have you organize my TikTok. And take control of it, so we can make this money like going to Cardi B. Make this money.
Yeah.
You want to say anything in
You
this?
want to say anything?
Well, like I said, remember to put God first, and hold your loved ones close. And remember, there's always someone who wants to listen. And always pick up the phone and call someone. Life is too short. With that being said, everyone have a blessed night. Thanks for listening.
All right.
That was good.
All right, y'all. One final thing. This is going to be part one. I'm going to get, there's a second one, but y'all got to follow me on social media to find out. So, wow.
That was good.
Wow.
That was good.
Wow, guys.
You did that.
All right, y'all.
You did that.
I'm going to give you all the links, everything that was mentioned. I'm going to give you where you could be, if you need help, if you need assistance, need anything. I will leave everything that you need down in the description down below, and I'm going to show you the guests. So here is this is the husband, and this is I told you I got the special guest. Yes, I told y'all. So all right, y'all. Thank you so much for joining, and I will see you guys in the next episode. All the links are going to be somewhere in the video, and yeah. And
remember, get my book, 1974
Get the
Survival
book.
Story. Get my book.
it's in Walmart too.
Yes, I
It's
forgot.
at Walmart. It's
Walmart,
online.
Amazon, Barnes and Nobles. Get my book. Thank you.
Get it. All right, y'all. God bless you. Peace, and I will see you guys in the next episode. And I'm going to give you a direct link to go straight to her thing. And so, yeah. All right, guys. Peace, love. See you guys in the next episode. Peace.